Okay, Capricorn, let's get into your October 2019 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kayleigh Jean, and welcome to my channel. As I'm tuning in to your energy for the month of October, I'm getting a lot of just a feeling of a lot of transition, essentially, a lot of transformation that you're going through. And I feel like this month, what you really need, and this almost kind of made my eyes water a little bit, so forgive me if I get emotional in your reading, Capricorn, but I feel like you just need a little bit of comfort right now. I feel like what Capricorn needs is reassurance, that everything that you're going through is on path, and it is. But what was coming through from Spirit as I was just tuning in was like that you have been stretching yourself a lot internally, in terms of your emotional state, in terms of your belief in yourself, in terms of what you consider to be your capabilities. I feel like you've just been really enduring situations that have tested you, and you maybe haven't shown that to everyone. You haven't been an exhibitionist about it. But let's face it, Capricorn, you have been fucking growing insanely fast. And not all of this growth is visible on the outside. You know, I feel like a lot of what you're going through has been a profoundly internal process. And I feel like there's some of you out there who feel like a lot of this has been going on internally, and a lot of it isn't necessarily seen by the people that you are closest to even. So I just wanted to kind of start by opening up this reading to kind of give space to you and give validation to you for everything that you've been going through that hasn't been on the surface. It's very deep work that you're doing. It's very deep work, and I feel like so much of what has been going on has been triggering deep desires as well as deeply held insecurities and fears. So on the one hand, you feel maybe like you've had some profound growth and expansion that you're super grateful for, but on the other hand, I feel like all of your insecurities have been brought up during this process. And it's going to continue. This powerful phase of growth, it's going to continue. But what I want to say is that this is the journey that your soul wants to go on. Even if sometimes it feels crazy that you would have agreed to some of these experiences that you've had, I feel like your spirit is really aligned ultimately with the lessons that you've learned. And it's the weirdest thing, because as I'm continuing to tune in, and it's like, I feel like your strength or your perseverance in a particular situation in your life, I feel like you feel that it hasn't been acknowledged. And I feel like that's really painful for you when you really tune into it and you're reminded of it. I'm getting emotional, but I just want to say that nobody can give you the love and validation, for your efforts before you can for yourself. This is about recognizing and owning not only like the victories and the triumphs that you've had, because you have, but also just the fact that you have struggled internally in the ways that you have, and that you haven't allowed that to cloud your vision. You haven't allowed that to cause you to distract yourself from your ethics. You haven't allowed that to invade on the relationships that matter the most to you. Like, the message that I just keep getting for you, Capricorn, is that you've been showing up. you've been showing up, and it's really hard when you feel like you've been showing up so consistently and doing the work and embracing difficulties and challenges and facing fears, and to feel like that's not being seen or witnessed by someone. I think that's really tough, but part of it, if we're going to be totally honest, Capricorn, part of it is that you're not showing them. You know, if there's someone in your life who you feel is not acknowledging or appreciating how much you've been showing up and how much you do for them, or how much you give in a particular situation, it's like what's coming through is maybe part of that is because you're not so vocal about it. And I'm not saying that you need to advertise, all of the efforts that you're putting in or be an exhibitionist about it, because that's not most Capricorn's style. But I do feel like it's time for you to ask for more support. I feel like it's time for you to recognize that this situation, whatever it is part of your creation as well. And not to be hard on yourself about that at all, but just owning that, owning your part in it, gives you the ability to respond to it in a healthier way where you can actually get your needs met now. Because I feel like your needs need to be met. And I feel like this is a time in which you can have that happen, but you have to be willing, Capricorn, you have to be willing to break your own rules. You have to be willing to break the rules that you think you believe in that actually don't come from your own deeper self or your own deeper truth. I feel like you've been restricting your self-expression or restricting your behavior, restricting your voice, your words, or your actions in such a way that you really haven't asked for what you need in this way. Like, you haven't put it out there in the way that you're going to this month. So it's going to be unique to each one of you how this plays out. But I feel like it's important that you know right now that Spirit is asking you to go beyond what you consider to be your normal kind of way of operating in the world. It's like go beyond your comfort zone and your limitations that you set up for yourself. I keep seeing the Hermit as I'm shuffling. So let's take a look at your cards and see what else is coming through. But that was a lot of channeled information. And we're going to get your Animal Spirit Oracle cards as well. So we've got the Crow and the Vulture as the influence. Okay. So this really does speak to what I was getting in the meditation, and hopefully this reading will give you some kind of validation for the changes that you have to make. Because when we have the Crow as your path, it feels like an intense, I guess, permission slip from the universe that's saying your inner kind of vision or your intuition about a specific area of your life is spot on, and the way in which you address that issue, or even the way that you approach it, it has to be something that comes directly from like your deeper self. The Crow represents the ability to see clearly into the past and the present and the future. So this is about really having a clear psychic sort of slate and being able to use your inner knowledge, your inner voice, to help you to make practical decisions in your life, even if the only validation that you're getting that that's the right thing to do is coming from your inner self. And that's sometimes kind of hard for Capricorns in particular, because you are such a grounded, earthy sign, and you take your path pretty seriously. Generally speaking, just as a sign, Capricorn is associated with like a more serious approach to life and wanting to be sure that you're making decisions that are in your best interest and in the best interest of those around you, and you're not one to kind of make decisions impulsively. Generally, you can really trust your decision-making process, but here I feel like you're really going to be relying on that inner visionary. You're going to be really relying on your intuition, essentially, and it's really important that you allow yourself to embrace the unknown this month, because the crow showing up is saying that it feels like there's an inner part of you that really needs to make some sort of powerful change or initiate some kind of powerful change, but there's another part of you that's saying, we don't know what is going to happen if we do that. So it's like your inner kind of voices are talking, and one of them is saying, we need to do this, we need to do this, and the other one is saying, no, let's wait, let's put it off, let's be careful, let's just put it off till next month, you know. So you have to trust yourself with the timing, Capricorn, but the vulture as the influence is about clearing out the old. It's about clearing out and airing out anything that is kind of stagnant or that is rotting in your life that just needs to be composted. It's a very positive card in that sense, because it shows that whatever things are kind of not working for you anymore, or whatever things are kind of not serving any ultimate purpose for you anymore, those energies, if you are to compost them in a healthy way, separate yourself from them in a healthy way, these are going to come full circle. It's like the circle of life. It's going to come back as some sort of wisdom or nourishment for you. So seeing both of these cards coming up together, I really feel like this is a time of great wisdom within you, Capricorn, and it's a time in which you're going to really have to trust yourself and rely on your instincts. So let's take a look at your tarot cards, and we'll get some more insight. We have the Prince of Swords, the Prince of Cups, the Lady, the Seven of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, and the Four of Pentacles. Okay, Capricorn, I'm just going to tune in here for a moment. Okay, so what I'm getting, Capricorn, is that in the beginning of the month, with the Prince of Swords and the Prince of Cups, these are, relatively speaking, these are the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups in the regular tarot deck. This is the Druid craft, by the way. What I'm getting here is that with the Prince of Cups and the Prince of Swords, both of these energies are cardinal, which is similar to yours, the signs that initiate the start of a new season. So it indicates that as we go into October, there's movement, essentially. There's movement. There's things that are being done that are causing a chain of events or causing some sort of a momentum. And I feel like what you're going to have to do if you want the energy of this month to sort of serve you best, especially in the beginning, is to just go with the flow. Lean into the movement that has been initiated. If something has been initiated maybe in September or recent months, I feel like October is really the time when whatever that was that kind of got a beginning or a start now is really starting to take off. There's wind in your sails. And on the one hand, I feel like you're very prepared mentally for this because you have the Prince of Swords, which shows this very kind of angular, quick moving, quick thinking, quick speaking energy of getting things done. So you might be feeling quite busy, but if there's nothing you can do about that right now, Capricorn, then the message is to just lean into it. Go with that busy flow. If there's nothing else you can do, go with that flow until you get a break, and you will get a break later in the month. So if you start the month feeling like there's just so much to do and you're kind of overwhelmed, just know that it is temporary, and I do see a reprieve from that. But try and find ways to stay grounded in the interim. Try and find ways to kind of experience joy, even if you are feeling quite busy or burdened with what's going on. Because we have the Prince of Cups here, and what I noticed about him is that he's barefoot, and he just seems like a more, even though he's a Prince of Water, he's got this kind of like connected to the earth energy that this one doesn't necessarily have. So I was kind of getting that. It feels like right now it's important for you to, even if you are really busy, it's important to kind of stay in your flow of being connected to like the earth, doing something in nature if you can, going for a walk every day, little simple things that help ground you, maybe being creative, putting aside 10, 15, 20 minutes a day to write, for example, if you're a writer. But this is about kind of staying rooted to your joy even when you have a lot going on. And that is really the challenge, isn't it? But I feel like that is going to be what helps you get through this kind of busy period and helps you to continue along with the momentum that you've already set in motion. So as we move deeper into the month, we have the Lady and the Seven of Swords. So one thing that I am getting here with these cards is that the Lady is the Empress, so she's very creative, and for the subject matter that typically inhabits my readings, it all has to do with creativity. It all has to do with how we express ourselves. So it's just a topic that is really close to my heart, so it's often one that comes through. And so when I see her, a lot of times I know that there is something strongly indicating that the person that I'm reading for is in the middle of a creative process. And this is symbolically represented by the fact that the Empress is pregnant, or portrayed as being potentially pregnant in a lot of depictions of her. So when we see this, it's like the Seven of Swords coming up next to the Lady is metaphorically representing that you are in the middle, very much so, of a creative process that you haven't quite reached the end of yet. And the cards are asking you to kind of keep it under wraps for now with the Seven of Swords. Work on your creativity or work on your projects solo for now, I think, is better. So some of you, if you have partners, or if you are going to have an editor look over your manuscript, for example, I feel like right now it's important in October for you to retain some kind of privacy or some kind of autonomy over the specific creative thing that you're working on. Now, this doesn't mean that if you have a business where you have partners that you have to pull back from them by any means, but it does mean that if there's something that's personal for you that you want to like enjoy for yourself, for your own creativity or for your own self-expression, I feel like it's important that you don't necessarily feel the need to like broadcast this right now. There could be a lot of reasons for this. For one thing, there could be someone who is maybe along the lines of a competitor who will take the fodder of your idea, and they might do some things with it that you wouldn't really appreciate. So if there is something new in the pipeline, Capricorn, keep it zipped. For now, that's what I see with the Seven of Swords. I also see, like, because this deck, the Druid Craft, chose to depict the Seven of Swords as somebody writing at their desk and it's late at night, and then we have the Empress. What I'm seeing is that if there's something that you've been working really hard on lately, Capricorn, that has got you sort of burning the midnight oil, and it's got you, you know, furrowing your brow a lot and kind of just really trying to make sense of something and finish something, and it's very involved, and it's like a big project, maybe it's bigger than you anticipated, and it's kind of weighing on you. I feel like the Empress card is saying all of this work is going to pay off. You are in the process of bringing something so significant to a birth. Like you are bringing something new into the world, and it's a labor of love, and it very much feels like a labor of love right now for many of you. But just know that I feel like this is something that is incredibly true to where you are at this point in your life, and you could only have ever done this work now. You couldn't have done it years ago. You couldn't do it in the future. It's like the timing is perfect. So yes, it feels like with the Seven of Swords, there's a lot on your plate, and there's a lot to think about, and there's maybe deadlines involved and things like that. But this overall really, really does speak to something beautiful that is being brought into the world through your efforts. So if anybody, like if nobody else around you knows enough about what you're going through, Capricorn, because you haven't been broadcasting it, and because you haven't been complaining about it, and you haven't been sharing it with the world, just know that there is validation coming through this reading about your private experience, about the private experience of showing up to do your creative work at 9 p.m. when you'd rather just go to sleep, or, you know, waking up extra early so that you can work a little bit on your painting before you go into work. It's just, I feel like the cards, there's so much in this reading that feels like Capricorns need to be validated for the secret efforts, for the quiet efforts, for the things that you're doing behind the scenes that nobody knows about, and therefore you might think that people aren't appreciating it, but I also am getting the message coming through that they actually do, and they will, but it just, like, right now it feels like you're putting in a lot of effort and not seeing a lot in return. But I want you to know that with this Empress here showing up, what you're bringing into creation is absolutely worth it. All of this work is going to be worth it. It's just a matter of sticking to your guns, sticking to your journey, recognizing that this is all part of the creative path for you right now, and not letting yourself be swayed from that just because it's difficult. But I do feel like, you know, as we go deeper into the month, you have the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles. So there are some aspects of this reading that I feel are bringing up this idea of like ambiguous energy around like a change point. So particularly in the third week of October, when the sun is moving into Scorpio, I do think that this represents a time in which you're going to feel, you're going to start like questioning something that has felt solid in the past. And there's like movement coming in. I'm feeling just intuitively, there's movement coming in an area of your life that previously was kind of like clockwork in a way. But I also feel like this movement, this energy that's being stirred, is happening for your greater good, like beyond any shadow of a doubt. Whatever is getting sort of stirred up, whatever you're starting to question, this is absolutely the right time for you to start questioning it. This is absolutely the right time for you to look at how you can shift things around, maybe change, like have something change hands. So for example, if you have a business and you are looking for an investor, there could be the possibility of taking on a new investor, whereas maybe you have always taken it for granted that you are going to work with the same investor that you always have. So that could be a situation that comes up. There could also be a situation where there's two main projects in your business or your company, or that you're working on creatively, let's say, and you're looking at which one needs more of your resources and attention right now. And maybe it's not the one that you were thinking. So, or for example, maybe too, if you have like a YouTube channel, or if you have a social media platform or something along those lines, you might, in the third week of October, you might decide to run a poll on your audience or on your customers and see what they really care about. And maybe the thing that they care about the most from you is the thing that you have been prioritizing the least in your business. So it's kind of like this shifting going on where you get some, like everything's going good, but then you get some new information, and so you grow a little bit, and then suddenly some things might need to be shifted around. So just be open to that and don't make any rash decisions. But I really do feel that there's some playful energy with this as well, even though I know you will be taking it quite seriously. Some of you might be considering, for example, shifting a job, or you might be considering making your side gig your main gig and getting rid of your main gig, or like vice versa. There's some kind of shifting, some kind of questioning going on, but I do feel like it is ultimately in your best interest. And the reason that this has even become a question for you is because a new opportunity has come in, or because you've received new information that ultimately you needed and is going to empower you. So it's all good, essentially, but I think that there's just the potential risk that you get a little bit hung up on making the right decision at the end of the month. And I want you to be really careful of how you think about the choices that you're making at the end of October, because with the Eight of Swords and the Four of Pentacles, I feel like if you kind of get too much in your head about which option to choose after you get this energy like stirred up in the third week, if you get in your head a little bit too much about like how to prioritize this decision, or if you listen to the whole peanut gallery and you call up all of your friends and all of your colleagues and all of your associates and you explain to everyone the issue, you're going to get, for one, you could possibly get as many different answers as people that you talk to, essentially. So that can be confusing in itself. Or what could even be more confusing is if you get the same general feedback from everyone, but your heart is telling you to do the other thing. So I feel like what's most important for you at the end of the month is to really not overcomplicate things for yourself, and try and be very intentional and choosy about who you go to for guidance or advice at the end of the month. And I also feel like it's important for you not to build these choices up in your mind so much, because ultimately I feel like whatever you end up deciding to do is going to move you forward. And no matter what you choose, when you move forward, you're going to get new information, which is going to make the next most logical step more clear. So do you see what I'm saying? It's a step-by-step process. And I don't see this, even though it might feel like a really big choice, I don't see this as being something that is a make or break situation for you in your life. Even if this is about a personal thing, like maybe you're deciding to stay or go in a long-term relationship that's very significant for you, I feel like you could be, obviously, because you care about it, you're taking that choice of like, should I stay or should I go? You're taking that extremely seriously. But at the same time, I feel like whether you stay or go in this moment is relative and contextual to this particular moment. In other words, if you decide to go, it might be temporary. If you decide to stay, it might be temporary. So there isn't really any way that you can get around this fact that whatever you choose to do at this time, Capricorn, at the end of the month, it's only going to affect short-term circumstances, even if you think that it's going to affect your long-term. I think that this situation is going to be a lot easier and more fun and playful for you to go through if you don't take it so seriously. And I know it's hard to say to Capricorn, because you do take things seriously, because you care. Like, you fucking care. You don't just write people off out of your life without thinking about it first. You're not like selfish or impulsive in that way. Like, you think about everything before you do it, and you deeply care about being fair to the people in your life. So it's not something like that. I feel it's more you overthinking it, I think, is what we see here. So hopefully just the fact that you are hearing this reading now will help ease that somewhat, so that you won't really go into that place of overthinking at the end of the month. And also, I want to say too, if it's the last week of October and you're feeling really in your head about something, don't make the decision. Just let it go. Just let it go. Go with the flow. Put it off. Don't be rushed into making any decisions that you're not ready to make. And at the same time, if you are making some decisions, don't make the mistake of thinking that you're deciding what is going to affect you for the rest of your life, because it won't. The truth is, it won't. Every next step becomes clear as a result of the step you took before it. So there's a long chain of creative opportunities in the form of events that follow your decisions, which create your circumstances. All of your circumstances are temporary. All of them will be overcome in time. All of them can be enhanced over time. So just recognize that you're in the middle of a flow of events, a chain of causality, and you're going to have so many more opportunities to make little tweaks and shifts down the road. So have fun, be present, enjoy your life, Capricorn. Enjoy the process of creating your business, or putting those building blocks into, the foundation of your symbolic or physical, literal home. Like, be in the creative process and allow things to take shape gradually over time, always retaining that sense of confidence and trust in yourself, that no matter what you choose, no matter where things seem to be headed, there are always a myriad of other choices and other perspectives that you can choose to take up as they become apparent and relevant for you. So don't take anything too seriously this month. That's the message. You're birthing something into the world that is going to be freaking awesome with that Empress. So let it be a personal journey for you, Capricorn. Let it be a personal journey. Be process-oriented. We have third chakra. And I feel like I need to get one more. And believe. I love it with third chakra too. It's so perfect. The third chakra is our confidence, and it's our self-confidence. So when we have the believe card coming next to it, it's like, believe in yourself, Capricorn. Believe in your creative ability in your life. That's all that you need access to in order to initiate and complete positive changes. You need to trust yourself. I know it can be hard when you have that crow energy and you're kind of seeing all these things that aren't necessarily apparent to everyone else. You're kind of seeing where the energy is headed before anybody else has has read their forecast. And you're already knowing, it's like, you don't know how you know, maybe, but you just know. Oh, we got broken heart. And with the vulture, I think, sometimes that can make sense, but I'm sorry if some of you are feeling a little bit of a broken heart energy. I want to get some more information on that. All tied up. Well, the message here is to recognize where this energy is active for you I feel like for many of you, this isn't new. It's not something that's coming in. It's more like a message that if you want to move forward, because you have the all tied up card, if you want to move forward, there's something that you are going to have to accept that's part and parcel to this journey that you're on. Sometimes, since this is a creative type of reading, sometimes the broken heart card comes up with, like, anytime that we're afraid of the potential of rejection. Or maybe we know that if we put out something that's really true to us, we know maybe a specific person is going to reject us, like in our family or our lineage or socially at work. If we start putting out our beliefs in spirituality on social media, maybe we feel that someone's going to look down on us for that. And that's a reality. That is a reality that we have to face as creative people. Everybody has to deal with rejection. Everybody has to deal with disappointment, on the creative journey. But I also feel that you have way more to gain by continuing along this path and trusting your vision, trusting yourself as well, having that confidence and that self-belief. There's way more to gain in this than there is that you might be risking in this. It's everybody's chagrin. It's nobody ever likes it. But every successful creative person has experienced it. So you're not alone. You're in good company, Capricorn, and I'm sending you so much love. Take care of yourself emotionally, take care of yourself physically. Your self-care is going to be really important, especially when you are kind of working with themes that have so much to do with taking a different path and trusting your own gut instinct on that. Like, you're going to really need to have fortitude in yourself. So do your routines. Take care of yourself with your diet, drink plenty of water, just be grounded and clear within yourself, and that is the best possible way that you can support this journey for yourself this month. But overall, I do feel like it's a very empowering month for you. I feel like you're going through so much change, so I'm sending you so much love as you go through it, and thank you so much for watching, Capricorn. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Literally, those things are so freaking helpful for my channel. So please, if you got something beneficial from this video, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and leave a comment and subscribe. It really, really is amazing for me, and it helps me to know that these readings are helpful to you, which gives me the inspiration and the motivation to keep moving forward. So I hope that you have an awesome month in October. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I'll put the information below the video to my website, and I do have the 2020 reading pre-order options available now, so I'll put that below as well. If you'd like to participate with me on a month-long journey of using tarot and meditation and journaling to connect with your ancestors, your higher self, spirit guides, and animal totems, I'll put my Instagram below for the Witches New Year Tarot Challenge. It's a divination challenge you can do as many times as you want and participate in throughout the month of October. So thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love, Caps. I feel you guys this month. I really do. So I'm sending you all my love. Take care of yourself, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.